welcome to another card creation using some new Catherine Pooler goodies from the Retro Winter collection. I'm going to be doing some heat embossing with some blue pearl. I love the way how the pearl range from Wow Embossing turns out like magic on black cardstock. So I'm going to show you and feature some old, new, and some extra goodie techniques today. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start off with heat embossing this big flourish background from Catherine Pooler. So this was last Christmas release, I think it was. And I'm going to prep my cardstock, my black cardstock, with an embossing anti-static pouch, or you can use an embossing buddy or a tool. There's so many names for them. And I will have all the product link descriptions in my YouTube description below. I'm going to press my Wow Heat Embossing Ultra Slow Drying ink really heavily on the background stamp. Because I'm using my glass mat, this background stamp actually sticks on to that and it doesn't budge the stamp. I'm going to use my brayer to get an even pressure of that background stamp. I've used a copy paper here as my protective layer. You can see here I'm going to use my copy paper here to catch the remains of the actual embossing powder here. So again, this is the blue pearl. Watch the magic happens when I heat set this. You're going to love it. So making sure I'm generously pouring that. I got a really good impression purely because I prepped my cardstock and using really good embossing glitters as well and powders. I've got my two-in-one here and my Wow heat embossing tool set on the setting 2. So this heat setting is got a faster heat, a higher heat and faster speed of fan. And I'm going to heat set this and melt this embossing powder. Check it out. So I don't know if you've seen this before, but Wow have got a really good pearl range. And you've got your reds, your purples, your blues, your greens. You've got clear, you've got gold. You've so many ranges. You're absolutely going to love it if you haven't played with these before. All right, so heat set the background. This is what I want for most of my background. I'm going to stylize and use this by giving it a trim in the middle and just making sure I've actually heat set all this panel here. Check it out. Isn't it lovely? I absolutely love it. Okay, so what I've got is I've got some Catherine Pooler white cardstock here. And I've got some brand new inks from the Urban Oasis collection. This will complete their collection now. I'm going to start off with the lighter pink champagne. And then what I'm going to do, give this good coating, is pick up, stamp this first. And also with some sangria ink. I'm going to use like a round mini ink blending tool from Ranger. And I'm just going to get just the outer edges. You could use a smaller one. I've got this little mini one here and I'm just adding almost like an ombre effect. And I'm going to just grab the outside. I'm going to do this twice because I really wanted it to be a lot more darker and I didn't capture it. So now I'm going to actually do this twice. I do want a little bit more depth in some of that sangria. So because I'm using my Misty, which is fantastic to use so you can restamp in the most accurate position, I am going to add a little bit more depth. And this is the beauty of using my ink blending tool and my Misty together. Okay, so I am happy with that overall result. I like that almost outer ombre going in effect. I think it's something a little bit different and adds a little bit of character. I've got my microfiber cloth here that I actually just clean away and then so I can keep moving on, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my clear ultra slow drying ink and I'm going to add a layer of an embossing glitter over the top just to add a little bit more sparkle, because I just can't help myself. All right, so I don't need to stamp this twice because I'm just adding, it's a really good ink, but two, I don't need the glitter to be really strong. I'm just happy to add some sparkle. So here's the clear sparkle. It is an embossing glitter, so it will add that extra bit of glitter element to these images here. This is from the Frosted Blossom sets. All I really struggled saying that. All right, so here with my heat setting tool on setting number 2, I'm going to heat set these, and you can see when held in the right light that heat setting and turning into a glitter over the top. There you can see that sparkle and shine. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up. I don't feel like you need to see the whole heat setting process. I'm then going to die cut these out with coordinating dies. I've got some purple tape there to secure it down. Now here I was telling you with my little panel, I've got a white top folding card base. I have cut a diagonal center part of that panel. I felt like it just needed to be a little bit more stylized. And with all these little elements, I'm going to decide, and I'm just playing around here, how I actually want this to sit. And you get to watch me play with this process. I actually changed my mind, and I want to actually stamp a sentiment in the middle, so I'm going to not use all of those images. I use my mini Misty to help me guide where I want my stamp to be, where I want and just placement really. So I do fiddle around a lot, just so I can work on where I'm going to place that sentiment. Now with the sentiment, Merry Christmas, it is from that Angel stamp set, another Christmas release from Catherine Pooler. I just love the font of this Merry Christmas. I am using the new hot tub, and I'm going to pair it with suede shoes. It's quite a contrasting colour combo, but I'm going to do the exact same combination of ombre technique as I did with the Frosted Blossom set. And I'm going to use my little mini ink blending tool here, and I'm just going to ombre the sentiments here, and you'll see the effect it leaves, which I absolutely love doing. I've only just been kind of playing around with this technique a little bit lately. So I used a scrap piece of paper because I wanted to make sure, one, I got the placement right before I stamped it, because I didn't want to do all this work and it go to not how I want it to be. You know what I was going to say. You can hear actually the white cockatoos around my neighbour in the background. I'm so sorry. I live in an area where you can pretty much hear most of the wildlife. So every now and then, depending on what time of day I'm filming, but all the parrots and the glass seem to be out. So I do this twice, and I loved how it turned out. I hope this inspires you to play with your ink and turning your inks into ombres. I think it leaves a really good effect, and I just love it. And you know what, I could have actually gone and done the same technique over, because I used my Misty. I could have gone over it with a clear ink and then heat emboss it with a clear sparkle again, but I just loved leaving that the way it was. But you know, food for thought. All right, so I'm going to work again with the placements. I've put some 3M foam tape behind the panels here. I'm going to place them so it has a white border around of that cardstock panel. And my glue of choice is a Tombow Mono. It's just something it's always on my desk, so that's what I've used today. And then I'm going to prop some of that up with 3M foam mount tape as well. Oh, losing my glue, you know, fumble fingers. It's how I am in actually real life when I craft, so you might as well see it in real life when I have my YouTube videos. All right, back to the card. I digress, and I'm just working on the placements here. And once I'm happy with that, I pretty much leave it as is. And it's really just a quick and simple finishing of this card. So I do fumble around a little bit with the foam mount. I don't stick to the actual placement as what I thought I would just before. I think, you know, if I took a photo, I probably would have, but you just wing it. So I hope you enjoyed today's card creation using the new release from Catherine Pooler. I hope you leave a comment. I'd love to read your comments, and I really appreciate everything that you guys say. And thank you for watching. See you later.